record.
That it told me. We're good.
Let's see, share screen. Let's go here. Let me move this out of the way. Get down there. Let me move you out of the way. Does anybody see their faces over the pictures? I don't know. Here we go.
No, just around on the edge on the side.
Can you see that full screen? No.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So that works. All right. Picture number 1. Who wants to take a shot?
Okay.
Hey,
Let's just have a title for the recording that we went on a trip to the Mad Arts Warehouse Museum in Dania Beach, and everybody had a great time, and we took a lot of very cool pictures. It's a digital art museum. If any of you did not go with us, you should make a time to go. I'm recommending it to everybody I talk to. If you have guests from out of town, it's just a very, very cool environment that people would enjoy. And there's lots of little restaurants around there to go to lunch. And it's just a really, it's definitely worth the trip.
All right.
Barbara Maker is there today with her grandchildren.
Oh, cool. I'd like to know how the grandchildren love it. That'll be wonderful to find out.
I think they're fascinated, and I think it'll maintain their interest. It'll keep their interest. So
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something, David. You know how I kept going back in that room? I was looking for this.
I know, me too.
It didn't come up when I was there, but
I think this is a great catch.
fabulous. It's fabulous.
I was trying to get all these codes, and it changed so fast I never got them. But I think what's really amazing about this is the perspective, and it just looks like it goes into outer space.
It does.
I just think, and the colors are phenomenal. I really love this. There's one little nitpicky thing in the black area on the right. There's like a white thing. I would just try to take that out. There's like a little streak in that black triangle. But other than that,
Anybody try mouse
no.
on the screen?
No.
I was
No.
trying to see where that little spot was, Dave. I'm not sure what you had.
Yeah,
in
well,
mind.
Looks like
we know you
I
can't
see.
see anything, so it's
Right. It looks like a small streak
yeah, that's
above the little yellow area
see it.
on
I
the
see it.
right.
it's just tiny. But I'd be proud to have this picture for myself, so I'm jealous.
I
Me
didn't see
too.
it. I
Me
didn't see it
too.
either.
Donna,
I
I'm
don't
going to say this is Donna's, correct?
Yes,
It's fabulous.
Great.
thank you.
great.
That was the first thing I shot when I walked in.
And you should have
Before
walked out. I'm kidding.
There were a lot of interesting things that people shot. It really was. You did a great job with it, though.
Thank
Yeah, I would just say that if you're gonna go and explore, taking out that little white dash, which I agree should be taken out, don't be tempted to crop anything,
Right.
because having that black at the top and the way it looks like you're falling off the earth. And if you eliminated any of it, that would not be as good.
So Donna, paint it with a black brush like I did, and then it'll still show. No, we're kidding. That's what David and Adrian.
Well, I actually know how to do that, so I can do that,
Good.
but I didn't quite see it, so
Yeah,
You know,
you
I
have
would have if I saw it.
when I'm looking at it and someone mentioned looks like the drop off the end of the earth, and when I saw that white streak, it looked like a shooting star, so
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me.
So in the bottom area, Donna, because this picture is so good, we're going to nitpick it a little bit. In the bottom area, in the open area on the bottom where the blue is, next to
Mhm.
the little mark, is that on my screen or is that on the picture? Does everybody
Not
see
on the picture.
circle?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
see
see
it. Below the A, to the right of
Yes.
the A.
Right on the bottom of the A, between
I
the
see
Oh.
it.
I
Oh, wow,
wow.
that's really
take that
tiny.
out, and there's a little tiny mark slash going from the 2 up towards the number sign. And you might be able to use a remove tool or just clean that up over there too.
Yeah.
It's really that good a picture.
Oh, thank you.
Now, can I make a suggestion to anybody who's developing this type of a portfolio of pictures that are super exceptional. Make a folder someplace on your computer. I'd probably make it on my desktop. Just call it special pictures and make sure you keep it in there. Not necessarily the original, just a copy or whatever. So that if you want to enter something in a contest going forward, you have it right there. You don't have to even look for anything. And you'll wind up with an accumulation of maybe a dozen or 15 pictures in there. Next year, when the photography show comes around, it's a no-brainer. You just pick them out of that folder. You have no work to do.
I would actually enter this next year into the color awards
I would too.
Yeah.
in the abstract.
Okay, will do. I'll fix it up.
Yeah.
Yep,
It
that'll
also
be-
reminds me of Legos.
Yeah.
look
It's just
at
a
it,
great image.
another know-how, but as people move forward, yeah, that's going to be there. All right, we ready? Move on? Let's
Go.
see if it'll, hold on. Good. Hang on a minute. Come on. The problem is your faces are over the arrows, I think. Nope.
You can move our faces away.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just not cooperating.
What about using your keyboard?
I just tried it. It went blink, blink, blink. and-
Oh my God.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, that's good too.
Yes.
Mhm. That
I have
must
to,
be AI.
I have to tell you, having been there, when I looked at all, we did not have a lot of submissions and I looked through them quickly. They were
Mm.
all so good. It was just such a treat to see them all.
They
I
were.
gotta say, these, I think these got the highest scores of anything we've done yet. They're
Yeah.
really fabulous.
And it goes back to that the class that I gave on composition, where I said put yourself in front of something. I was copying Scott, and he was saying put yourself in front of something fabulous, and you'll have better pictures. And that's what we're talking about.
This was a very interesting thing because that display back behind that keyhole opening, I like the shape of the opening, and I like the linear line, the linear composition that goes from the bottom right up a little higher, slanting up. It's very, very nice. Got a nice curve, and it's got a little depth where the keyhole entrance is on the left side of the keyhole. I like that. They did a good job moving the little figure out. I might have taken the little tiny slash of light that's out above the little mannequin's left shoulder, right on the edge of the keyhole. There's a little flash of bright light. I would clean that up with a brush. And I might take up above, and we're getting tacky because you people are getting better and better. Up above, a little bit of that light fixture, something directly above that keyhole. I might take that out too. But really well done. And that lighting kept changing and changing too. So it's a nice, it's a composite. We
Right.
moved the man into another spot in the picture, and it's nicely done, very creative. Anybody got thoughts about it?
Yeah, what they chose to select for the image, how much of the wall is just perfect. And the fact that they were standing in a good spot to get the wall as sort of a diagonal presence in the picture. All that makes it more special. Having the keyhole off to the right in the image, all of that, a little reflection. It's a very special image.
Yeah, I think the perspective is great. I actually shot that keyhole pretty straight on with all the stuff behind it, but I love it this way. I
Yeah.
love the perspective. I also, when I first looked at it, it was like, oh, there's that line on the ceiling, but I like that line because it really helps with the perspective, and I wouldn't take it out. I also think whoever did this did a great job of sizing the light man and placing him in a great spot.
Yeah,
So-
that's part of the secret to the composite, is finding out something in the way of the size and the perspective that works in the space that you're planting it in the scene. So it was very well done.
It's fabulous.
Yeah, it is. It is creative. Let's see, no, you don't work that way. You don't work that way. I have to come back out of it. This thing will not work that way.
Terrific.
All right, let's see if it'll work now. No. Pain in the ass. My whole screen is just screwed today, but here we go. All right.
Well, is that the same man?
Yep.
No,
Well, the same man appears with another man, and you could walk around and get him in various perspectives in there.
that's terrific.
It's
I
like
think-
a statue of light.
Yeah.
The thing is, when I first looked at it, I said, oh, I've seen pictures of that statue of man, very sharp. And I love the fact that it's a little blurry because it almost looks like a Star Trek, beaming him down. And it looks like a hologram. And I love the addition of those circles in there. I think those probably came from the laser room. I could be wrong, but I also love this and think the composition is great. I like seeing Harvey very small. No, I'm kidding.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's very graphic and my eye just keeps going all over and wanting to see more as I look around it. I think it's great.
I do too. I like the vector that comes down out of the ceiling. Same thing, Dave. I love the opacity of the light coming down on the beam with the circles that give the vector beam kind of a little bit of dimension in terms of left to right. It's very clever. It's very, very clever. It's creative. It's fine art is what it is.
Mhm.
Moving out of the photographic straight snapshot more into fine art. So it's very, very well done. Any
You know
more-
what I think is just interesting too? There's a vent above the head of the light man and a vent below him. And that's kind of why it helps that feeling of beam me up. I think it's
Oh, wow. You're right. Look at that.
kinda-
I
you know-
remember that day from the floor inside in the laser room. There's one part in that laser room that turns into that on the floor, which it's tipped upside down and turned and then planted in there. It's really interesting.
very well done.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Moving on.
Oh, this is a wow.
Yeah, this
It's
is
just
cool.
a wow.
This
That's
is
super too.
freaking extraordinary.
Yep.
Really is. I have shot that room, I don't know how many times, and I have not created anything as wonderful as this is.
Yeah, I think the discs of glass look like they're just flying down, like spaceships. And
Great imagination.
the shadows are amazing. And to take that and then put the two guys on it, I think is brilliant. This is like an award winner.
It
Mhm.
absolutely is. I think if we were looking at this in the art of photography, we would be off the wall with it. Only thing
I would,
is
it's still open to put things in the black and white Spider Awards.
yep.
You might want to
Yeah.
put this in because I really think it could win an award. Or Black and White Magazine has a thing where you don't need a category, just any single image that you like, you can enter.
You just have to take the color out of that little man in the back, that's all. Probably
Right.
see that right here. There's a little color in this guy.
Yeah, a little red.
And the only other thing I would say is to take the hot spot right here where the two little white spots are in the one disc. I might try to see if we could remove them. It might be difficult to do, but
I actually like those.
it's a yes and a, right. I was going to say, Dave, it's a yes and a no to me. I don't know. I
Or-
like, actually, they're down below too on the other one, so it does work. It's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal.
For a person that's sitting here admiring the pictures that I've seen so far, and this one being in black and white. So I'm talking from a person that doesn't have a lot of experience. If I walked up to this, I certainly would go, wow, what a great picture. And like I said before, this person was so imaginative when he did this or she did this. And I also agreed with David. It could win an award. It's fabulous.
Yes, it could. And the title is very good, Lunar Landing, and I love how it's on tilt.
Yep.
I love the plane of the composition, just wow.
And also the comment you made before about the proportionality of,
Yep.
you know, what size do you make those two light guys? And this is the perfect size.
Yeah, it was a great idea to make them small, like tiny like that. It's
Yeah.
Really terrific.
Beyond awesome. Beyond awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to,
I ask who did that?
Leslie.
Leslie's not here.
Yeah, she is.
I am here. Thank
Oh.
you all for your feedback. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
Leslie took the trip on her own. She couldn't come with us that day. And you know what, Leslie, I'm also going to compliment you on your choice of titles, which we need to have a little discussion about at a later point, but titles matter.
They keep me up at night.
They keep a lot of us at night up, and then we put something in and we enter a lot, and we're always going back and forth. What would you call this? What would you call it? I mean,
The pictures are easy. The title is the killer.
absolutely fabulous shot.
Thank you.
So I think this is overall fascinating. I love the title Piano Man.
I do too.
Yeah.
Great.
I love the black and white, but I also love that bit of gold, like that hallway there. It's very mysterious to me. The only thing for me, I would either take out or crop. I guess it's a foot on the left. I don't think you need that. I think it's a really graphic, beautiful composition.
Mhm.
And I think the foot on the left is just very distracting to me.
Mhm.
I agree, but technically, if you take that out by cropping it, I think it would make the picture almost 50% the gold.
You might
And I
be
don't
able
know
to
if that
turn
would work.
might be able to turn it. And turning it might eliminate some of it, but then you could use a remove tool on it. I don't know. We'd have to look at it. You could clone the white and the black.
Yeah, I would probably
This is
do that.
This is something now, Mindy, is this yours?
Yes, that's
Okay.
mine.
So when you learn a little bit more about the clone tool, there is a
Yeah.
way to take this white area here at the edge of that foot and just clone that straight up and match it to the other white. And then you could match the black up and match the white. So you could get the remainder of it out with a little turn or a twist without having to take the whole thing out. Just make it a little easier on yourself. But
Mindy, do you do
okay.
Photoshop Elements?
Yes, Photoshop
Okay,
Elements.
so I don't know if it'll work or not. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But if you, I hear what Adrian's saying, but if you cropped out that foot and then put the shot into guided, into extend the
Right.
background,
Oh, that's a good
Right.
idea.
Right, yeah.
it may not work. It may make it a
Right.
little crazy, but it could work and be interesting.
Yeah, I'll play with it more. Those are good ideas. Yeah.
There's a few options there. The only other thing that I might, I don't know, Dave, I don't know, Adrian, what you feel, but on the very top of the image where the gold is, there's a seam here, right at the top edge.
Hmm.
I just would probably, and you can see it follows along where the white is on the top. I just would
Yep.
bring that down just that hair to get rid of that seam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I see that.
What would happen if you lassoed the foot and removed it? Would that work?
It's possible. I could just try that too.
I don't know. You'd have to try a lot. You'd have to try
Mhm.
crop, a turn, a twist, a generative expand, crop it in so it's past the foot, like David said, then extend the crop and then clone. You could try a whole bunch of ways, but I do believe if that foot got out of there and that top came down, that little tiny piece, that this is really extraordinary because the piano key in the man is great because it's got a sense of depth. It looks like
Correct.
the way the angles of the stairs and the white stripes are going, it drops down. They look like steps.
Mhm.
That's what makes it for me is that I've got a whole sense of dimension to it.
Mhm. exactly.
It's a
Yeah.
very-
And, you know,
Traffic?
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah,
No, all I was gonna say is, you know, maybe if you could take the foot out, maybe the idea of a foot in there is great to me. And maybe it's just clearer that it's a foot. Right now, it just looks like a black thing and I'm not sure what it is.
might be a shadow,
Mhm.
might be somebody's shadow off on the outside edge.
I'm just saying, you might find a foot to cover that.
Mhm.
I just signed on. I
Oh, hi,
think the
Harvey.
I think the idea of the foot is great.
Yep.
I really do. The concept is wonderful, but I would like it to look more like a shoe, more like a foot than a mass or a blob. Really, but the idea is terrific. Good thinking. Very,
Thank you.
very
It
nice.
is a foot. It
I
is
know.
someone's foot.
Someone's foot.
Came out like a bob.
So think of another foot, think of a really attractive foot or shoe. And think
Mhm.
about selecting that, getting rid of it and putting the shoe in.
Right.
That's an interesting idea too.
But
Great, good
I-
rainy day activities.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate the feedback
The-
Yeah,
very
yeah, hold
much.
on to these pictures, because God only knows where you can go with them later on, you know?
The angle, the levels, the gold, the wood, it all works. It's
Yeah.
I think it's wonderful.
I like the fact that some of it is sharp and some of it isn't. And I think that's also interesting.
Yep. Great dimension. Here we go.
Good.
You see where these pictures go? They're so incredibly good, so many of them. Off the wall.
Mhm.
David?
This is only good because of the model.
David, you look like a swimmer.
No, that ruins the picture.
Yes.
David
I
Rubin.
have a goiter on my face. No, but I think it's fun. What really intrigued me is how the hand hit a certain part of one of the
Yes.
flowers, and it looks like it's kind of radiating out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's really interesting. That last room was really a find. That was
Mhm.
fabulous.
Yeah. I'm not done with that room. I have to go back because there's more to be had in that room. I just, we were at the tail end. I think we were hungry and whatever at that point, but yep. This is very, very interesting. I
I
like,
like,
you look like not only with the hand, but it almost looks like somebody's about ready to swim in the water. It almost looks like it could turn into a nude.
I was thinking that it looked like a ghost. You know how the pictures of ghosts have these trails on them, you know, where it's like sort of going away into nothingness. So it's getting skinnier and skinnier in that bottom right-hand corner. And I just think it's
Mhm.
like very dynamic.
Thank you, Adrian. I'm kidding.
Nice silhouette of David.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we all knew who it was. It was
Yeah,
obvious.
that's really funny that it,
But
we knew who it
you
was.
look better there, Dave. You really do.
Hmm.
So I think this is great. I know it's textured, it's not sharp. There are a lot of pictures of this room that I took and others took that are really sharp, but I think this kind of makes it like an abstract piece of art. I think it's really interesting. I know somebody said, well, they didn't like this because it, you know, was too grainy, but I think it's a look. And I think it's very well done, and I just appreciate whoever did this.
I didn't mind the grainy at all. I love the angle. It's, you know, very different. I mean, especially having been there and know that it wasn't at this angle. The way the reflection works with the angle and the wall is great. It's a little too hot for me. I'd love to see it, that glariness on the left just toned down, I don't know, 5% or so. Just because my eye keeps going over there to the left to that really, really bright area.
I would agree it could come down a little bit and just tone down the exposure a touch. I do like the reflection back on the glass. It almost looks like glass, textured glass, frosted glass on the top. I love the angle. I love the tilt. I love the line of the little bit of trim that comes around. Very graphic.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
really graphic, very linear, very well done. I agree with David. I like this image quite a bit, and I don't mind the grain at all.
The colors and the angles are great. The grain is fine. I agree.
Yep. This is just such a treat in terms of what people have managed to put together here. All right.
It wasn't easy to take pictures here.
No,
The lighting was
We
difficult.
said that it would be quite the challenge, and it's not easy. It is not easy at all. So here we go. Last one.
That's cool too.
That's more what it exactly looked like. And I like that the person captured so much of a reflection. But I would beg them to take an extra minute and get rid of some of the dots, like on the back wall. I like the blue, but the fact that there's those white dots and a little white line takes away from the blue for me. But I like the blue, and I like that it looks like something's coming out of the door, like a ghostly presence. So don't touch that. That's very cool.
I like that someone's coming, excuse me, and someone's going. And the blue is interesting, absolutely. And I was going to say the same thing. Those few white specks are so easy to remove.
Just a
I
little,
like,
yeah,
like it.
clean up. Reflection off the floor is great.
Mm-hmm.
Detail, a little bit of texture of the wood grain on the platform going across. I like that a lot with the white reflection. That's very well done.
You know, I have to, this one is mine, and I have to say, when I had it on my computer on Photoshop, I thought I cleaned it up. And then when somehow it looks different after I send it through email. And I have other photos that, like, I do back and forth a few times. This one I didn't, but it looks like I cleaned it up on Photoshop. I'm not sure why I can't see certain things on my computer.
Donna.
This is-
Funny you should say that.
I'm
When
funny
you all
should
got
say-
on, Anne
Stuff.
was showing us a picture she had done, and she said, I took the cage out, and Adrian and I were saying, no, we see the cage. No, he didn't. I took it out.
But
And
that's what happened here.
Right.
Me too. It's exactly
thing.
the same thing.
Well, you know, I submitted a similar picture for minimalism that I cleaned up a lot. And I first sent it to my daughter. And after she commented, I looked at it and go, wait, that's a mess. And I cleaned it up more, and then I cleaned it up more, but I don't see it on my computer.
I think the computers and the monitors, the way they're calibrated for color and light make a difference. And I did not, Dave, with me, I have my screen calibrated, but my calibration has been off and I need to recalibrate, and they pulled it out because I needed the plugs for Josh. So, but the bottom line is it could be part of it, but, and so Donna, it's same thing that can happen. Sometimes you just bounce it by, and I sent the one to David, and Adrian looked at it and they said, no, Ann, the bars is still there. I said, but they're not on my screen.
Really?
Yep. So, and I will.
Also a good title.
Strangers That Pass in the Night was very well done. I have to tell you,
That is great.
pictures were entered in the show or entered in minimalism that of people who actually were there also, but they didn't submit to the Mad Arts, but they submitted them to the minimalism album. They were taken at Mad Arts, and they probably could have gone both ways.
Yeah.
And they did not. But look, my feeling is we look at what we have, and we evaluate what we've got. And I would only say this: I am so pleased. Hold on, something else coming up. Don't you dare come up on my screen. Hang on. I hit the wrong thing on my dock bar. I am really, really impressed with people who really, really want to learn and want to do the work, and how they've progressed. And it's amazing to me. And I think about all the time that many of us masters people, so to speak, have spent doing workshops or doing critiques or doing whatever. And you know what? To me, it's all worth it because I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it in the work. And so you can lead the horse to water. You can't make it drink. Those of you who are, I'm just clapping for you. I really am. I really, really am.
I agree.
Agree.
I agree. It's wonderful to see people having fun with it and making the effort. And you guys have to be seeing how much better you're getting in what you take, but also in what you do with it.
So let me say this, and Adrian, we have to bounce this by with the Masters people too, but we're about done with our schedule for the season, minus the show results and whatever's going to happen with our luncheon. But I'm thinking after the minimalism that I looked at now that's finally complete in the folder, that I think what's happening is there are some good shots in there that we would rate and rank otherwise as high, but they fell off the mark with respect to the theme and the understanding of minimalism, what really would qualify as minimalism or minimalistic or isn't. And I think maybe if we evaluated those pictures one more time to point out a few things, I'd like to do one more review if people want to come on. I'd
Good
like to
idea.
look at minimalistic pictures, and I'd like to edit some of them and show how they maybe perhaps could have been different. But what I'd like to also do is discuss genre, so that next year when people move forward, they understand the difference between what might be considered street photography, a character study, abstract, minimalism, and just kind of go through some things and maybe some sample pictures that give people a head start that way and evaluate. Because I don't think people are going to learn by seeing, here's the top 3 or 4 pictures that
Right.
winner, and there's 3 that were chosen as honorable mentions, and they're not, you don't learn anything. So
Correct.
because we have the time and we cut the season short, I'd like to try to do one more round. Okay?
Yeah, I think that's a great
Okay.
idea.
Okay. And the
I'm
other-
definitely all for it.
Yeah.
Okay, Adrian, do you want to touch base about what we're going to do with all of the honorable mentions and the winners of the monthly themes?
Yeah, Ann and I were talking about looking at the winners as a group unto itself, and try to pick what we thought was the same kind of thing, like give somebody a ribbon for being the best of the best, and then a couple of honorable mentions. It's sort of a work, the work of the season kind of an album, and see what we get and what kind of feedback we can give people that
we
way.
would have to put all the pictures together only for the monthly themes and not for the events.
Right.
We do the monthly themes because there was a winner and there were honorable mentions, and we throw them all back in the hop. No categories, no nothing, and let the Masters people kind of take a look at that and figure out if we can maybe perhaps at the luncheon do one final round of I still would love to come up with a way, and I don't know if we can, by maybe just taking the beginners, the other 4 classes, and maybe doing something about most improved, because even though somebody might not come into this package, there are people that I see that really have come a long way from where they were. And maybe they're not where somebody else is in their class, but that's okay. They're working. And so I don't know if we can do that. We may not.
Yeah.
That's a very subjective thing on our part to try to do that. But we talk about it all the time, say, wow, look at this. Somebody's really stepping up,
Yeah.
So we're not done with some surprises, so to speak, that we're going to try to come up with. All right.
Give you something to work on over the summer.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I think
Okay.
that's that was a really good session. Everybody did great work. I love the pictures. When I got them from Ann, and I wrote her right back, and I was like, wow, what a bunch.
I'm
I
going to
mean,
show everybody one thing before I go off. This was this morning's work. I had an hour finally to myself. So if I click this, okay, here was the original. That was the original. I kept that for years, loving this animal because he was rare. And that's what my workshop has moved me to,
Wow.
creating more of a fine art, all with lighting. I did not select, I didn't take them out, I didn't change the background. I did it all with lighting.
And it looks like a sculpture. Doesn't look like a picture. It looks like a metal sculpture of some sort.
Well, I think what I was looking for is something that was soft,
yeah.
something that had a little more of a fine art look with with a little bit of lighting and shadow and it's just a softer feel. But something that maybe was out of the night or in the dark. I don't know. It's just sort of what I came up with, but
That's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
So he didn't change the background, he just made it dark all
no,
around him?
I worked a lot in the horrible word of layers, but I could send you the video that I used to finally kind of move forward with this, but basically did it a lot with curves. I darkened brushwork, medium and dark tones. I did it with dodge, burn. I used all lighting techniques. I did not take him out. I didn't, the bars kind of went away when I moved into, they went away eventually. Thank you both for that. I said, now those bars are still there. I said, we can't have that, but yeah, it's, we're all learning. You just keep on moving, you know? And so anyway, so that's it.
Thank you, everybody. Donna and I
you.
have to go do bocce plot.